Welcome! Today we are discussing how to change your operating system. If your current operating system has expired, we offer you a way to start with something different and interesting.
Average computer users quite often return to Microsoft's Windows operating system right after they dip their fingers into Linux. Their first Linux experience simply scares them off. For them, everything is so different and they find themselves in uncharted territory, so the only way is back to Windows, no matter what it was that made them try Linux in the first place. At first glance, the look and feel of Linux is miles away from Windows. Applications are completely different from those of Microsoft OS's too. When you try to change something on your system, you suddenly realize there is no settings app, kind of one that you are used to in Windows. But the most outstanding and maybe the most important difference is with applications. Sooner or later, you will sort out your orientation within the system, but when it comes down to get the job done, you hit the wall. You feel yourself lost with those new apps. Things are simply not in their familiar places, and then you just give up. In the vast majority of Linux variants, known as distros within the community, applications are free and open source, and they mostly cannot be found in Windows OS. To name just a few examples, while Windows has Microsoft Office, many Linux distros have LibreOffice. Paint has been a common application in Windows for ages now, or maybe it's better to mention Photoshop. On the other hand, Linux distros offer GIMP, or video professionals, for instance, use Adobe's products, which cannot be found in Linux, and so on.
But there is something you can do about it. To dive into the unknown, you can start with something that you find very familiar.
So one might be wondering, then how am I supposed to switch to Linux? The best piece of advice could be that you make your first Linux steps in Windows. And here is how. If you are afraid of changing your system by installing some new unknown applications, what you can do is to grab a USB stick and install Portable Apps platform on it. Just visit the site www.portableapps.com, where you can find the platform itself and loads of free and open source apps as well. Additionally, the installation is quite simple and you have a starting point to make yourself familiar with the apps like LibreOffice Writer or LibreOffice Calc, Abbey Word, Audacity, if you have not seen it before, and many, many more. If you get stuck with any of the applications you try to familiarize yourself with, it's very easy to find a way out, and all you need to do is to Google search your issue or find a tutorial on YouTube, for instance.
This is just your first step. It will enable you to take the next one.
After exploring the applications typical of Linux, the next time you try out your new operating system, you will find yourself in a more familiar environment, and you will know how to get from point A to point B when it comes to the job you have to do. All it takes is one step at a time, and let your first step be by playing around with free and open source applications within Windows.
We do hope we have helped you familiarize yourself with new applications and new operating systems. It's always good to know that there is an alternative. See you next time!